Hey, what's good, baby? How you,
Oh
kid?
no, that was hard, man. What's up?
Nothing, baby. So hold on for a second. Let me set you up real quick. For
Okay.
all my listeners out there, man, I got the opportunity tonight, man, to sit down, man, with an incredibly gifted and greatest engineer you might ever run across, baby. We got the opportunity to sit down tonight, man, with Ken Johnston, man. And he's gonna let us know all the different things that it take for him to do what he's been doing, man, because he's been putting his work in, man, for quite some time. So,
Thank you.
Ken, man, what's good, my brother? How you,
You, man.
man?
Just happy to be here.
Yeah, yeah. So first question. Let's crack it off. Um,
Let everybody
where you
know.
originally from? Where you originally from, and how long you been doing your thing?
I'm originally from New Jersey. I've been doing this since like the late '70s.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
professionally since the late '70s.
Professionally since the 70s.
Hmm.
Wow, you've been putting in work for a long time.
Yeah, man. Getting
What what
old.
what was the inspiration? Like everybody is inspired by something or somebody. I, you know, everybody don't wake up and say they want to be an engineer. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
right. Well, I started out playing trombone, and then from there, I started playing with a lot of local bands and stuff, and I started playing with some traveling bands and stuff like that, and ended up playing with a group called Slave.
Okay.
And while recording the Just a Touch of Love album, that's just when I fell in love with sound.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's when I found, if you listen to the sound on their bass, guitars, it was like 7 horn players. Everything was big, huge. So,
Yeah.
and I've been chasing that sound my whole life. So that's what got me. And two of my best friends, they were making the sound. So I learned
Okay.
from them and was inspired by them.
So I was around when the slave was doing your thing. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, definitely. So you know
Yeah,
about that, huh?
I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I'm
Oh, all
saying?
right. You know about that
And
grease.
so we used to come out. We used to see y'all. This is slave was around when y'all cats was performing in parks and little different
Oh,
other
yeah,
little
yeah,
venues.
man.
And I was one of the little shorties. I don't know if I was a shorty, but I was one of
They was all shorties too, man. They was like 19.
right. So
Crazy,
so
crazy.
I absolutely was around. I absolutely know about the work that Slave was putting in when you was doing your thing with Slave, man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying? Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's when you got bit by the bug, huh?
Oh man, did I?
Yeah.
I always, my family played music, but that's when I really got bit by the engineering bug,
Okay.
trying to get that sound. So I'm
Yeah.
chasing out, buying different equipment, doing different things.
Right. Right. So already when I hear you say trombone, that means that you was already tapped into
Mhm.
actual instruments. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
definitely. Yeah, my whole life. Yeah, started out in like fourth grade played with a lot of bands, went overseas, playing. Edwin Starr, Tanner Gardner, a few other people was on the concert. It was
Yeah.
cool.
What are
I know
some
what
other
you're talking about.
what are some other instruments you play besides the trombone?
Like the drums a little bit. Basically the trombone was my main instrument, but the drums.
Okay.
I'd play bass a little bit.
Right. So did you go to school to learn engineering, or
Yes, I did.
was it
I kind of knew it from hanging out with Slave and stuff like that, but I went to school in New York City,
okay?
Center for the Media Arts. I went there.
See, hold it,
uh
hold it,
oh.
hold it.
Uh oh.
I too went to the Center for Media Arts, baby.
Wow.
Yo, listen, man, hold on. This get ready to be
Oh
really good
man, that's
interesting study.
crazy. That's
I
crazy.
too went to Center for Media Arts, man. You know what I'm saying? So I too went to Center for Media Arts. So I went for video production.
Nice, nice.
And they also had a little,
Yeah, yeah.
photography. So everybody wonders why I know what I know, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? When
Yeah,
I'm
man.
sitting around, whatever. And they was like, well, Sam, how you know how to direct and all that, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm like,
man. That's tight. Ah,
yeah, I'm like, I went to the Center for Media Arts, baby. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
Like, you
Like that was
know,
the first school. That was the first school that everybody had their own station. You know what I mean? No other schools was doing that.
right,
You
right.
had like 12 niggas in the class, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, you can say what you want.
Okay.
This ours, baby. You know what I'm saying?
12 niggas in the class. Everybody had their own station, so you got to work and learn that way. It was cool, man.
Right. And at least like, and also when I went, so I could tell stories, but this ain't about me today. But I got to get this in. You know what I mean? Like so before Mars Blackman came out, before Michael Jordan and Mars Blackman did their commercial, right?
Uh huh.
With the Nike commercial and all that. I had already did a commercial like that. I felt like they stole my shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was already on 23rd Avenue getting, you know, you know what I'm saying? So wow, this is a small world, baby.
Yeah,
you know
man, that's crazy.
yeah, absolutely and stuff. So after you left Center for Media Arts, man, what was the next
Right.
venture, man, that you went from there that you had to do when you went from there, man?
After that, I went and worked for a studio called Unique Recording.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the biggest recording studio, one of the biggest in the world at that time. So I was a tape editor there and a tape copy person. Like if you made a song, we didn't have no MP3s, nothing back then. So if you made a song in the studio, they said, give me 10 cassettes. I was the guy that made the 10 cassettes. And then, you know, whatever, made copies of reels and stuff like that. And then I went to tape editing, you know, the 2 reels and, splicing the tape. I became really good at that. And,
Hey man, Sonny, listen, man, we ain't came from the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, man. Man.
All about that beat making,
bringing it back, right?
Right, about them reels, man. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to kind of talk a little bit about the process, man, because a lot of cats now, of course, when we came along, we was taught the right way. You know what I mean? We was taught from the reels, you know what I'm saying, and the cassettes, and then on and on and on, man.
Right.
So I want you to talk about the difference now, man, on how you feel about that, of cats not really having that education under their belt. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do the things that we used to do to actually be a real engineer. You know what I mean?
I know, man. It's a whole different world, man. I teach audio engineering at a college here in Vegas and stuff.
Okay.
So I get the young kids and a little bit older sometimes. I get those kids in class that have never seen an analog studio, so they don't know nothing about it,
Right.
If they want to save a song with all the plugins and settings, they just hit save and pop it up. We had to go write every setting of every piece of gear and patch bays and the EQs on the board and all kind of stuff. So they didn't get any of that,
Right.
And learn how to, cut that tape to splice it,
Yeah, some of them don't know about split sheets and
there you go.
All that. I know. I'm tapped in too,
Yeah, man, and apron stuff, and just all that, man, just all the good habits we built,
Right, absolutely, man. It was actually a foundation, man, that had to be built before we could even move forward.
Right.
With a lot of different things that we was doing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you've had the opportunity, man, to engineer for everybody.
Yeah, New Jersey, then,
Right. I mean, when you look at your resume, you know what I'm saying, and all the different things that you've done, like how did it progress to that? Like you started out slave, and the next thing you know, you with everybody.
Yeah, once I went to school, and then I started working at this place called Unique. They did everybody and their mama there, and basically, if a new piece of equipment came out, the owner would buy it. So.
Mm-hmm.
His philosophy was that you can come to our studio, you don't have to bring your equipment. I already got it there,
Right.
And it's all included. So I did the same thing in New Jersey. I bought a studio and I had just about every piece of equipment that was out. So cats would walk in my place and they was just like awed at all the equipment I had,
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
For a lot of people, they thought they didn't have to go to New York no more and stuff like that, or they can come over from New York and get out of New York and come to Jersey.
Right.
So that's pretty much what made it blow. And I was the first recording studio to have a Pro Tools setup. Like they had, like he told me like 3 other studios in New York had them, but they were for voiceovers and stuff like that. But I was the first audio music studio to have the full-blown Pro Tools setup.
Right.
So that was making, I was an order people, like, so I had a 24-track reel and I had 32 tracks on Pro Tools. So I would sync them together and, stuff like that. So I had plenty of tracks for people to work on.
No, that's right. So working with you engineer for everybody, right? And we also know that there's always different sounds that different people are trying to capture, but different artists. I don't want to say people. Let me correct myself. Different artists need to capture. Is it was it easy or hard for you? I mean, like, what was your process, man, of being able to adapt to the sound of that particular artist and give that artist the sound that they were looking for, man, at the time when you was doing your thing with them?
Just respect, man. Like trying to hear it the way they heard it.
Right.
And sometimes you get caught up in hearing it the way you want to hear it, and that could be wrong. So you have to. I learned that early. I was working with this guy, first real client I had, and I was mixing his records, and stuff like that. And he was like, and then one day I said, you know what? Let me do it the way they want to do it. I was trying to give it like a slave type feeling. And he said, Ken, what did you do to my sound? He said, it sounds so great now.
Right.
This poppy kind of like white sounding and stuff, and they loved it. And I was like, oh, so that's where I was going wrong, So
right.
That was a big experience. And then I just started with all my clients, like just listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, half the time you're in the studio, it's basically y'all talking. You're not even working. You're talking, and you're a psychiatrist and everything else, man.
Right. You got it right.
I hate to say that, but that's what it is, man. And
I mean that's the kind of, you got to get to know the client to understand what the client is thinking and how they're thinking.
What they're shooting for, right?
Right, and what can be the best, because sometimes the client don't really know what they really want.
Right, exactly. Right.
And then you kind of giving them a sound, and they think that they want, but then sometimes, and I want you to really tell the story, man. Or sometimes you got to pull things out of the client that the client don't even know that they have, man. What is your experiences with that, man? When you're having to work with a client like that?
Well, I could tell you like two different instances. Like we called 3LW there, and the lead singer, she wasn't the best singer out of all three. So in the studio back then, you'd be take it again, you'd be taking it a million times, So I said, you know what? I said to them, try this on her voice,
Right.
And it was auto tune. I said, this will help keep her in tune, So they tried it, and they was like, oh, that's cool, man. So that like cut down. I said, but now if you do this to it, and it went to that T-Pain sound. I said, if you do this to it, it sounds like this, and they just went crazy, So they put it on the record. So that was the first really R&B record to have auto tune on it. Went double platinum, So
wow,
yeah, man. So
wow.
I gotta ask though.
Wasn't T-Pain,
I have to ask, because she's one of my favorite female rappers and singers. What was it like working with Lauryn Hill?
Oh man, that was
in the studio.
She's a workaholic. I could say that, man. She is a super hard worker, and it was just an experience, It's an experience. It was. We'd be up be up for 20 hours working. And she'd be like, okay, pull up the next reel, and everybody'd be like, oh, come on now, having 3 studios at the same time. She just was a very, very hard worker. But
did you have some
dope, huh?
Did you have some that went in there and just did one takers? Like they went in there and just did it in one take or two takes?
Not the hits, no.
Not the hits.
No.
Yeah. So
it's a song called Zion. I'm sorry to cut you. It's a song called Zion.
Go ahead.
And we did the hook for a whole week.
Wow. Wow.
And it sounded great every time she did it to me. You know what I mean? But she was like, no, I don't like it. Right. And you had to punch on the tape back then. It wasn't Pro Tools, nothing. You had to punch on the tape.
Right.
It was Zion, so that's 2 syllables. I would have to sometimes punch Zi out and keep the on, or sometimes punch the Zi and then get out. I mean, also not Zi, punch on. You know what I mean? So I'd have to break them up and punch in 2 different ways, and that was,
yeah,
tough.
Yeah,
imagine doing that for a week.
And I know that becomes a little frustrating at times. I mean,
definitely.
So do you ever get frustrated? Well, I know you do, because I know.
You're just happy to be there. You're frustrated, but dang, man, you got this amazing talent in front of you. You're like, okay, you learn what it takes, Right. People don't do what it takes no more.
Right. And that was a question actually I was just going to ask you. At times, do you sometimes got to learn how to get out your own way? You know what I'm saying? Because we already know how it is, and sometimes you be so head set on wanting it this way. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then sometimes you got to give it allow an opportunity to present itself for you to be able to do something different. And then sometimes when that's done differently, it also teaches you something too. You're like, oh,
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's
So,
the most important part is the learning that you get from it, you know.
right,
That's
right,
most satisfying to me anyway, you know.
absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why Sonny was getting ready to say that she's been around a little while was she's being all modest and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Sonny was an artist too, right? And
All
Sonny is
right.
an artist out of St. Louis, and
St. Louis.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. And Sonny had a little thing going on back there in the loop. You know what I'm saying?
a little something. I used to battle rap,
There
and
you
all of that
go.
stuff. I come from a music background. My grandfather is Eddie Floyd Sr., of course. Knock, knock, knock on wood. So I got, family
Yeah.
history from history from history, and
Mm.
and so yeah.
What was the process, man, that it took to lead up to being a Grammy award-winning engineer? I mean, what's that feeling like? You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna never have that feeling.
Yeah, right.
You
Crazy.
know what I'm saying?
It was like the
I mean,
first year that engineers got Grammys for, but you had to be album of the year. So that
okay.
was the first year that engineer, whoever worked on the album, got a Grammy, also got a Grammy, you know. So it felt great, man, seeing my name come across the screen and all that. It was just
Wow.
amazing, man. I never had that feeling in my life, you know.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, now that part of history goes down. Then I just found out the album got the #1 album of all time for Apple.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah. I need you to talk about the structure, about the pay structure a little bit, about being an engineer. Because a lot of times people don't really know their business and don't know how to get that paperwork right. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I need you to kind of talk a little bit about on the business end of it, man. Is it difficult? Is it difficult to get what's due to you by being the engineer?
Yeah, the most difficult part is that you get your money up front, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're on some situation where you get a part of it, you know, but I would say 90% of the time you get your money up front, you know. So the record can come out and go huge and then, you know, you don't get any residuals from that, but you know, you will get more clients from it, but you won't get
Right,
residuals. So
right,
yeah, try to make it worth your while, you know.
So
right. Go ahead, son.
how does the credits work? Like, do you always get put as the credits on the album, or okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Some people, you know, well nowadays they don't even have credits that much, you
right,
know. So it's
right,
tough.
right,
But back then, yeah, the album come out, you get the credits. Some people jerk you, you know.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
And
lie.
that's
Yeah,
the part that
right.
yeah.
I was trying to get to, because a little earlier me and Sonny was having a conversation about some of the early artists, about the music that was being made back in the early days of hip hop, and how maybe 80-90% of artists weren't paid for their craft. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't understand the whole structure, the paperwork structure of it. You know what I'm saying? And where they didn't know about publishing, or they didn't know about copyright or trademark or whatever the case is, and then here they look up and they got a really really big hit or a nice catalog,
And they
and
ain't got it, they can't get it, or they,
but they still living in the project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Happens to a lot of people.
It's just-
It's kind of like, you know, if they do bring that paperwork up, they might not get it put on, you know, because you know cats don't want to deal with it sometimes, you know. So you got to kind of figure out who to attack and who not to, you know. What
right,
what what is this going to be worth to you? I would
right,
say if something do hit, then that's when you got to run. You know, you got to run hard
yeah,
because you might not get that. You might not get that experience again, you know.
right,
And
right,
So,
that's when you make your money. Maybe you didn't make money on that one, but it put so much other money in your pocket that
yeah.
you know.
so how has like the technology of music like changed the way that you approach your work now? Because I know that it's so different now, in the different cultures and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I work completely in the box now. You know,
Okay.
completely inside the computer, 100%. And it's just lovely, man. I got all the same gear that I had back then.
Is it more easier now than it was,
Yeah,
back?
definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Like I said, we had to, like, let's say you had a compressor at the end of the session, you'd have to write down every knob where it was at. You had to go to every channel on the board,
Hmm.
like where all the EQs was, what button was pushed in, where the fader was. You had to label everything. Now you do a save and then you can pull it up. You know,
Right.
so you was
Hmm.
like half an hour, 45 minutes just documenting what you did on that session. Then a
Right.
half an hour to reset it back up, you know.
Absolutely.
All that stuff.
And that's wow, that's real different. So I'm curious to something, and I probably already know the answer, whatever. But because you're a person from the old school and you're used to actually hearing the sounds of actual instruments, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're hearing that sound of that actual instrument, I mean, I know that actual instrument kind of sometimes produces a sound that you maybe are not unable to duplicate. I mean, is that true, or can you duplicate anything? Like once you can hop on your box and do your thing. You know what I mean? I was just curious about that because I'm from the old school.
Right.
And I know when you blowing on a, just like you said, you might be blowing on a trumpet, but the trumpet will make a certain sound that you can't duplicate by using a computer or technology is what I should say.
You're 100% right, but there are programs that are so close, and really, it all depends on how you play it. You got to play it like a trumpet player.
Right.
If you just hit dun dun dun, it's not going to sound like a trumpet. But if you play it like the way a trumpet player would play it, you got a better chance of it sounding for real. I think most people don't play it like the instrumentalist, especially with violins and stuff. You got to play it the way the violin player would play it. The way the orchestra would play it, and that's when it starts sounding real. Because there's so many songs with fake, I guess you can call it fake or synthesized instruments on it that you would never know, because the cats playing it are really good musicians and they know how to make it sound like the real player would play it.
Absolutely.
You can get there if you know what you're doing, But
no,
for the average person, it's a no. Yeah.
No question, because that's always been. So like sometimes when I be in different studios, like I go to other cats and I go to different studios and I'm listening to different engineers, you know what I'm saying? And me personally, I don't know about other folks. I sometimes can walk into a studio and I can tell whether the engineer got it or don't.
Off the rip.
You know what I'm saying? Like right off the rip, like I can hear the different ways that he does his music, and many times I'm not impressed. You know what I mean?
Right.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not one to knock a man's dream down
Oh,
at all.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know that if I had a client come in, or if one of my cats hit me and say, "Yo, I'm in town. I need you to shoot me over to to a studio or an engineer, whatever," they don't get that call. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's so cool you said that, man. That's what I tell all my students. I said, you never know, man. Your whole session got to be laid out perfect. You got to be recorded perfect, so that the next time whoever mixed it, maybe somebody else mixed it. So that next time they don't have a free time to do a session, they'll be like, go see such and such it, because they know it's going to be done right.
Right.
So a lot of cats don't take that in consideration. They still just doing them. They just high and doing them and all this stuff and yeah, that's dope, man. Instead of like really like just making it serious, like just lay it out the way it's supposed to be laid out, have everything perfect, crispy, clean, and everything is right. Everything's labeled, and then so when somebody gets to mix it, they'll see, oh, this is perfect. Now I don't got to do all this work. I don't got to rename tracks. I don't got to do this. I don't got to do that. I don't got to color the tracks. It's all set up for me.
Have you ever gotten somewhere where you was like, okay, you finished the track, they liked it, they said, oh, it was good, and then turn around and say, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You get those people like that, they say, oh yeah, go ahead and do what you got to do on it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And then when they hear it,
I don't like it. You get two redos. Other than that, I got to charge you more. But you know what it is like that, Sonny, is that when you finally get your song back, you hear it clear, and you're like, oh, that's how it can sound. I wonder if they do this, and then you start getting all these ideas about it. Now your whole production changes in your head.
Right.
You start just like, can you try this? Can you try this? And like, no, you can't be a part of that, man.
Yeah.
You like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's talk about some movies, man. So I know you being an engineer, you absolutely have been involved with some soundtracks or some scores.
Not scores, but the soundtracks, yeah.
But the soundtracks. Yeah. Is that a different process, or you still do what you do?
in my case, it would still do what I do. The actual songs made it to the movies that I was a part of.
Okay. Okay.
But my first actual gold record was on Love Jones. So that was cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was, I Want to Go Outside in the Rain. I did all the music to it.
Wow. Touching my heart right now. You know what I mean? Like,
cool.
Yeah, well, only because I'm from that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, only because, you know, like, so here's another thing, a lot of the music that we grew up on, a lot of the artists that we was listening to when we were younger, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people really can't identify with that when they hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I'm not gonna get into it, but you know, this Slave, and it was BT Express, and you know, and then it's Confunction, and you know what I'm saying, and you know, I'm sorry I'm dating myself, but that's what it is, baby. You know what I mean?
That's my heart, man. That's my heart. Yeah.
Right. I come from, and then when I listen to the early years of East Coast music, you know what I'm saying? Because every coast had their own different style of what they did, and I'm sorry if I sound a little biased right now, because I am. You know what I'm saying? And do you find that sometimes you have to kind of separate that in your mind, like when you're hearing a different sound? Because I know that happened early in your career because you from the East Coast, you from Jersey. So you used to hearing music and identifying with music in a particular way. But now you might get somebody from somewhere else, wherever, overseas or West Coast, whatever. What was it? Was it a problem with you with trying to kind of get with that? You know what I'm saying? And kind of resolute that in your mind?
Used to be you judge the record, you know, but now I judge the sounds and just try to make it all work, you know.
Okay.
So you know you got to get out of that, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's not your project. If we're talking strictly from a mix perspective, you know, it's not your project, you know.
Right.
So you can't really. You just want to try to see. Like I'll listen to a song for 10 times, 20 times, 30 times before I even touch it, just to see what they're trying to go for, you know.
Right.
And then I'll start mixing. I walk away from it and be mixing it in my head. It's a crazy process. I'll be mixing it in my head, you know, knowing everything. And then when I go back, I just do this. Everything that's in my head, I just do to it. And then, you know, and then it's just a matter of tweaking it from there, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I try to get to know the record, the artist, and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I think one of the main things is that whoever is this, if it's a singer, a rapper, could be a saxophone player, could be a piano, whoever's got the lead at any part of that song got to sound like a superstar. And I think that's where people go wrong, you know?
Right.
Like the music got to be banging, but if you don't have that artist sounding like they're the superstar, like they're on top of the record, they sound crisp and clean, and they're pulling the beat. Most people, like, I don't know if I can explain this right. Most people will have the beat pull in, but now it's the artist that got to pull the beat and be in the pocket, and the pocket got to follow the artist, even though they're in the pocket.
Right.
But they got to be the leader of it, you know.
Yeah. They got to drive.
They're not buying the music; they're buying the artist. Really,
they're buying the artist. Right. So the artist has to drive it. You know what I'm saying?
Has to drive it. Definitely, good word. Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Right. Absolutely. I want to shift a little bit, man. To you said you teach at the college.
Yes.
Explain that process, man. How do we fall? How do we get to? I mean, of course, it's a natural evolution. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I mean? But how do you feel about that? Like when you first started doing that, you know what I mean?
I love it, man. I'm doing it for like close to 12 years now here. So I love it, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Super easy schedule, you know, get to teach young kids. Our setup is sick that we have, so that's fun. I also do it online. You know, you don't even have to go to the college if you want to learn Pro Tools online. So that's cool. And I've been with Pro Tools since the beginning, so I really enjoy it, you know.
Right. No, absolutely, man. And you know, that is one of the bigger differences from the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the cat don't even have to kind of pull up to the college. You know, like I don't even have to get in my car and drive to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can just look you up, punch in, and then I'm sure hit a button and be able to pay for the class or the course, whatever the case is. And like you said, that makes it much more easier. Okay, but in my head, maybe because I'm old school, I'm not getting that real feeling. I'm not getting Ken Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting them jewels. Whereas if I'm standing next to you, or if I'm in the classroom, you know what I mean? I'm not getting to watch when you move your left hand or your right hand and the way you know what I'm saying? Like, those things, like, right there to me, because I learned it's important. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So are you? I'm sure you're one to make sure that is also shown. Those little idiosyncrasies, man, that it takes for a cat to really be better than the next cat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But again, it's on the individual. You know, like you from the same school I am, man. To have somebody that been in the business that can show you some stuff, you're gonna link onto them like glue, man. You're gonna try to suck them for everything they got.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's just like, okay, yeah, right, yeah. Nah,
Right.
man, we didn't have computers. We didn't have. Only
Right.
way you can find out about music was in the magazine. We didn't have no YouTube,
Do they?
no equipment or whatever. If you wanted to learn how to work something, you had to go pay $200 an hour. It's crazy, and a tape and all and musicians and stuff. So it's everything's so available to them for free now that they, I tell them, come on, hit me up more. Ask me for more.
Right.
So
Right.
when they do finish like the course or the classes, do they get a certain like a certificate?
Yeah, they get Pro Tools certified.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And I'm Pro Tools certified as a user and a teacher, so they get certification. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Because like I said, me and you, like I said, we got a lot of things in common from the past, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just said a couple things that, when I reacted a particular way here, I thought maybe I was overreacting. You know what I'm saying? And now when I'm speaking with you, I recognize right away that no, I absolutely was not overreacting. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that at least when I was in school, and you sometimes have to learn how to humble yourself to be able to be taught. You know what I'm saying? You sometimes have to come in the door. So like when I tell people how I started when I first kind of went into it, when I went into an engineer studio, it wasn't even an audio studio. This was an engineer studio where Cat was doing voiceovers. You know what I'm saying? And the first things that I had to do was clean up the studio, right? Where these are things that you got to do to learn.
You do.
What's going on? I used to literally have to sit down and put the albums back in the slides. You know what I'm saying? And
man, I used to make tape copies. It's, definitely, yeah, totally, man.
Right. And so do you find that well, I already know that. I don't even know why I'm answering that question.
Let me ask you something though. How long did it take you to get, move up a step in that particular studio?
Took me maybe 2 months, 3 months, man.
That's what I tell people.
Yes.
Man, I'm glad you said that. I tell young kids, I say, man, if you got to go to a place and clean toilets or make coffee or something, make sure them toilets are spotless. Make sure that coffee, the pot is clean. It's the best coffee anybody had.
Right.
Make sure that you are there. And I guarantee you, within 3 months,
right,
you're gonna be in the studio one day, and the engineer is gonna say, "Hey, run these, record these vocals for me."
Right.
Then you're gonna record the vocals, and the next thing you know, he's gonna be sick the next day. Yeah, just do it with Ken or whatever. Next thing you know, that's where you could just start.
That's where it took me actually 4 months to be able to first before you even let me touch the board.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Yeah. So, you got to touch it, right? Yeah.
But
man.
I got to touch it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then it took me right. You know what I mean? And then there's also a trust factor. Also.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because I just can't have anybody in my studio. You know what I mean? Touching shit. You know what I'm saying?
Break something, you ain't got no money to pay for it. So.
Right. You know what I mean? Or you stumble over a wire. You know what I mean? And you done ripped out a whole bunch of stuff that took me months to kind of. Because back in the day, there wasn't we had to figure that out. There was no numbers and names on the wires and none of that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Man, you had to figure that out. You know what I mean? And if if there was a problem where there was a technical problem where something was loose or whatever, you had to go through each. You know what I'm saying?
And so tough, man. Each wire, each everything, man. You had to, man. Woo.
Right. No question about that, man. So where's the next step? Like, you're doing your thing, you're doing schooling, you've already become Grammy Award winning engineer. I mean, like, where we go now? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just having fun, man. I do a radio show out of Portland, Maine, on FM station out there. I do a dance mix show Friday and Saturday night. You know, I call it the top of the night mix show, and I do that every weekend. And then I mix records and I teach at the school. And then I have a record label. So,
Nice.
and then I have a distribution company. So I can distribute other record companies. I can also have a distribution company with Track Source. I don't know if you know who they are, but they
I already know Sham.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know Sham. That's my boy. He did some beats for me and stuff. So yeah, it's been on my previous pod. That's my boy. Sham,
nice. Yeah. So you know that you can't go direct to them.
Yes.
So I do have a direct with them. So yeah.
Yeah, when I seen Interstellar on there, I was like,
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You ever made dance music, club music?
Huh?
You ever made club music or whatever?
Yeah. Sham made a couple
of
beats.
Holding out. You said it. Sammy. She said she acting modest.
Shout out to my boy Sham. Yeah.
Right, because a lot of times, I mean, we pull up and then maybe listen. Sonny is still nice to the day. We'll pull up somewhere, and I know she don't really do a lot of things no more, but we'll pull up somewhere, and Sonny be listening to what be going on, and Sonny be like, you know what? Somebody hand me a microphone.
I'm gonna play this real quick.
Right. Let me
just in case y'all forget.
Right. Yeah. Let me put this down for them real fast. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, Ken, on the battle.
Give me that mic,
Right. On the battle tip too. Like, these youngsters thinking they can, the battle rap and all that.
Yeah.
And so, Sonny goes in some days. You know what I'm saying?
You got to, Sonny, all the time.
Yeah, it's now. Right. So now I go from being the owner of all this shit to security now. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
But music gonna always be a part of me. Media is like what I love to do now. The interviews, the podcast, and the red carpets, all of that stuff. And somebody comes say, "Hey, I want to feature you on this track. Hey, let's go." I write a little something. What's up?
Yeah, man. It's
my pen game still there, so don't get it
twisted. Absolutely, man. Yeah. So, man, what we look forward, right? You still doing all the different things, man, that you was doing. You know what I mean? You're still doing the education, man. So, before we go, man, I wanna give you an opportunity, man, to shout out and plug everything and everybody, man, that's helped you get to the place to where you are today, my brother.
Oh man, I'm gonna get shout out first to Verbs. He the one that put me down with this, and I can't appreciate me. Me and him just met a few months ago through a good friend of mine, actually a person that I helped teach how to engineer at my first studio and stuff. So Jack B, give a shout out to him too, and
big shout out to Verbs.
Yeah, definitely. Facts. Yeah. He's such good people, man. And
beautiful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Big
Absolutely.
Heart. And my brothers, my nephews, my family, the school, students, everybody, man. It's just so many people, man. I don't want to miss anybody, but definitely KG and Naughty by Nature. He put me in place with so many projects, man. I owe majority of my career to him, definitely, A lot of guys, man, help me out, introducing me to people, tell them to come through, whatever.
Yeah.
I still work with those people today. So thank you. I appreciate you giving me that honor to shout some people out, man.
Absolutely.
And for some of the new engineers out there and the producers out there, like what are some advice that you can actually give to them, that you learned earlier on in your stages and in your career?
I would say, man, you got to practice, man. You got it's like working out or being LeBron James. Like, you think LeBron goes there and he don't work out. You think he's who he is because he didn't put every hour of his life into this. It's the same thing with music, man. You got to put those reps in. It's not like you got to figure out a formula or read 10 books and all this stuff. It's just, you just got to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it becomes second nature to you. And then you got to mix a lot so that you start hearing what you're doing. And you got to, you just got to keep doing it. And once you get good, you got to keep doing it some more. And then don't give up, because once you give up, the next day could have been the day that made it for you. And your life can change. Your life can change in one day financially. So you can't stop. You got to keep going. But the thing about it now, the technology is growing real fast.
Yes.
So if you slow down, you're not going to be on top of the newest technology, especially if you're young. You need to be on top of all the newest technology, and just keep practicing, man. Like, cats don't practice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't practice.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure man, what we would do to get a chance to just go in the studio or practice, man.
Hey, man.
You didn't need no money. You didn't need this. He was like, just let me be there,
Just let me be there. Let me see what's going on.
I'm sorry, but going out to the clubs and drinking, you can go do that anytime.
Yeah. What you doing for?
And do what it is that you need to do to move forward.
You said somebody spend $40, whatever. I'm just saying a low number, but $40, man, they could have bought a plug-in. They could have bought something that, they could be, learning. Like I spent all my money on studio. I could have Benzes and this and that, but I spent all my money on equipment.
Yeah. And what you said was very key, man, about practicing. It's about muscle. It's about creating muscle memory. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And when you do something, you keep doing it, you're doing it over and over again, man. You get really good at it. You know what I'm saying? And then you get better at it. And then after that, you look up again. Now you're a Grammy Award winning goddamn engineer.
Right? Exactly. That's exactly how it works.
That's how that goes, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. So before we go though, I need you to also let everybody know where they can contact. I need you to plug your school. I need you to plug all your social media ties and all that. In any kind of way, man, if they want to get with you, man, on how they can catch up to you, man. All right? Yeah,
man. It's Ken J Audio Guru. KEN J Audio Guru. Facebook, Instagram, or 488 Records, 488 Records on, TikTok. My school is CSN, College of Southern Nevada. You just go there and look up the audio department. If you want to take these Pro Tools classes and get certified, it's only like 3-hour classes once a week, a 3-hour class once a week. It's only like, I think $300 or something stupid easy. Like, you don't have to even break the bank for this.
Right.
And it's a 12-week course. So stuff like that, man. Yeah, definitely. But 488 Records, and you can go to 1079 on Friday, 1079.org on Friday, and Saturday it's at 4 p.m. Eastern time. West Coast time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and check out the radio station.
Okay.
WJCP 1079.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna sneak one in right fast, because I usually do, but I'm going to sneak this one in. This is hard for you. This is really hard to ask you this, because you done did shit with everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But if you had an opportunity, is there a particular artist, man, that you would like to work with that you have not worked with yet?
Oh man,
dead or alive,
past or present.
Oh man, I would love to like Kendrick, man. I would love to like.
Okay.
To see how he works, because he's a brilliant. I just love to see how he works.
Yeah.
He brings something different to me.
Right. I just had to get that in.
I know Tupac was great and everything, but something about just Kendrick is just different, man. And Tupac was for that time too, but
Yeah, Kendrick is just like you said, it's just different. He's somebody different. This is a whole different interview.
How Rain thinks that whole process works,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna send you a track video that I was featured on that Sham made the beat to, but I'll send it to you. I'll send it in your inbox on Instagram.
I would love that.
Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing before I say, I want a big shout out to Center for Media Arts, man.
What was his name? Harry something. Harry that ran the place. I forget his last name, but yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I just want to shout out because you're about one of the very few people that I've come across that said that they went to Center for Media Arts, and I was ecstatic. I'm like, oh shit, I was the only one that was around that piece. You know what I'm saying? Because and I don't mean to kind of elongate this, but because I was in video production, I was one of the few brothers that was in that class at that time.
Me too, yeah, man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like then, I don't mean to cut you, but there wasn't no black people in it. I'm telling you, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Nope.
Now it's full of us. But back then, none.
None. And I created a situation where I made them open up their doors. I made them open up the way that they needed to think about us. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a situation where we had to do this video project. And they allowed some people to take the cameras and all of that stuff to Jersey, right? And then I said that I want to do my video project and I want to do a biography of where I came from. And then they was telling me that I couldn't take those same cameras to Brooklyn to the projects. And I started a big old thing in the school, and the 2 weeks later or a week later, they allowed me to take the cameras.
Right. And brought the stuff back perfect, right?
Right. And so that kind of opened the doors for if you can dream it, you can see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can make it happen. And that was one of the things that I did. And I'm very proud of that back then, because they really wasn't trying to hear us when we was talking about taking $100,000 worth of equipment.
Project.
Right.
Let your man take your $100,000 equipment to the project.
They were not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They was not. You know what I mean? And then eventually I wound up convincing them that everything was going to be okay, and that the people and the staff and the equipment was going to get back there safe. And so it had happened, man. But yeah, man, this was Ken, man, this was beautiful, man. You know what I mean?
Beautiful, man. And appreciate you guys, man. Pleasure meeting you, and wow.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So let me just say this. Yeah, let me just say this before you go, right? May you always be blessed in all the things that you do every day, man, and may you prosper in each and everything that you do, each and every day that you do it, my brother. You heard?
Take that to heart. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Hey, once again, man, salute to you, man, and the things that you do, man. And peace, man, and may you always travel safe.
And also, too, if y'all want to check out this live interview, make sure y'all check us out on Media Made Magazine on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok. We Media Made Music, Media Made Magazine, everything. Follow me, S Mills Media, all of that good stuff. Let's get it.
See why I need you. See why I need you, son. Goddamn it. You see why I need her? Because goddamn
it. No rock on turn, right?
Also, make sure, too, y'all check out our magazine.
I got to end this with 4 bars, man. Hold up. I got to put these last 4 bars on this.
Hey, Ken, man. May you be blessed, man. Peace, man. And travel safe once again.
Love y'all, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No doubt, baby. Peace.